Hello students, we will today start the chapter Current Electricity. In a previous chapter you learnt about electrostatics, which means charges were at rest. Now when the charges start moving, it constitutes something called current electricity. Let's first define electric current, which is nothing but the rate of flow of charges. That means how fast charges cross a particular point in a conductor. That will be a measure of electric current. Now the formula is, current is usually denoted by the letter I. It is rate of flow of charge. So let us write the formula: charge divided by time. Now all the charges may not flow at the same rate, so we take the average value. So we take average current for a conductor as delta Q by delta T. Now this delta Q is the amount of charges that pass through a particular point in a conductor in a time interval delta T. Now if I limit this time to a very short interval of time, we get instantaneous value of current. That means current at a certain instant of time given by the limit. We limit the time to be nearly equal to 0 but not equal to 0, delta Q by delta T. Now limit delta Q by delta T will be equal to dQ by dt. So this is the value of instantaneous, formula for instantaneous value of current. Proceeding to SI unit of current, it is ampere denoted by the letter A, where 1 ampere is equal to 1 coulomb per 1 second. So if you want to define how much is 1 ampere, it is defined as if 1 coulomb charge flows through the cross section of a conductor in 1 second, then the current passing through the conductor is 1 ampere. And to know whether this current electricity is a scalar or a vector quantity, it is a scalar quantity. Now you may wonder why it is a scalar quantity, because we consider the direction as well of this electric current, but that is not enough to define it as a vector quantity, because it has to follow the vector law of addition, which it does not. That means current electricity does not follow the vector law of addition. That is why it is not considered to be a vector quantity. It is considered to be a scalar quantity. Let's proceed to find out the drift velocity of electrons. Suppose you have a conductor which is not exposed to any external electric field. That means no potential difference has been applied across the ends of this conductor. But it is a conductor, it has got some electrons and ions in it. Now the electrons will be moving randomly in all possible directions, giving rise to a velocity. That velocity is initial velocity of the electrons, because even when you don't apply any external electric field to this conductor, they are vibrating, and this type of velocity is called thermal velocity. Okay, now when you look at the thermal velocity, it is not in one direction, it is randomly oriented. So the net thermal velocity or average thermal velocity, say it is Vi, is equal to 0, or since we have taken it as initial velocity, we can also take it as U, because initial velocity in physics is taken as U. So U average, that means the thermal velocity for the electrons, is considered to be equal to 0. Now when you apply a potential difference across the ends of the conductor, now the electrons will start moving in a particular direction. That means they will drift with a small value of net velocity from one end of the conductor to the other, and that is only known as drift velocity. So to define drift velocity, we can simply say It is the average velocity attained by random moving electrons when external field is applied, which causes the electrons to move in one direction. It is known as drift velocity. Now we will find out an expression for drift velocity. Expression for Vd, where our Vd is drift velocity. It is the average velocity. Say you have a conductor subjected to an electric field E. Okay. Now from the chapter electrostatics, you know, whenever you have a charge which is subjected to an electric field, it experiences a force. The force on each charge is given by Q into E, because electric field is force per charge. We have used this one. Okay. Now what is the charge on each electron? It is minus E. So the force on each electron will be equal to minus E into E. Let's take it as 1. Now, since they are moving, the electrons will acquire an acceleration. The acceleration formula is A is equal to F by m. Where did we get this expression from? Very simple. From Newton's second law of motion, F is equal to m into A. Okay, so we have used this to find the expression for acceleration. Now, replacing the value of F, A will be equal to, from 1 minus E divided by m. Let us take it as 2. This is the acceleration attained by each electron. We assume it is a case of uniform acceleration. So acceleration for each and every electron will be the same. Now, let U be the thermal velocity. I have told you what is thermal velocity earlier of each electron. That is, U becomes the initial velocity. Okay, and we have, after you apply electric field to the conductor, you have the final velocity called the drift velocity, which is nothing but the average velocity of all the electrons taken together. So we add up the velocity of all the particles, all the electrons. Say you have n electrons. So average velocity of all the electrons attained finally, it is called drift velocity. Now let's apply equation of motion. The equation of motion, the basic equation is equal to V is equal to U plus AT. You know V is the final velocity, that is a drift velocity. Average velocity is equal to U is the thermal velocity, and thermal velocity, average thermal velocity is equal to U1 plus U2 plus U3 till UN divided by N, plus A, the value which we had derived earlier. Let's leave it as A only right now. And this T is taken as tau. Now this tau is a new term. It is called relaxation time. It is the time interval between two successive collisions inside a metal. Because you know electrons are colliding with each other as they're drifting from one end of the conductor to the other. So the time gap between two successive collisions of an electron is called relaxation time. And we take tau as the average relaxation time. That means it becomes the sum of the relaxation time for all the electrons divided by the number of electrons. So your Vd will be equal to, this term will vanish to 0 because the average thermal velocity is equal to 0, because they are moving in all random direction. They will cancel out each other. This term will be equal to 0, plus A will be equal to, you can replace the values from equation 2 here. A is minus E by m into, this term is given a short one. It is tau, that is the average relaxation time, tau. So the expression for drift velocity is equal to minus E by m into tau.